if the Earth is spinning at 1,037 miles per hour, orbiting the Sun at 66,600 miles per hour, and flying through the galaxy at 500,000 miles per hour? Shouldn't we feel it? Shouldn't we be able to measure it? They tried, they failed, then they lied. In 1887, physicists Michelson and Morley performed what was supposed to be the nail in the coffin for geocentrism. They were trying to detect the Earth's motion through the ether, the invisible medium they believed light traveled through. They expected a measurable interference shift if the Earth was moving. What did they find? Nothing. No shift, no motion. A null result. The Earth did not move. This wasn't a fringe experiment, it was cutting-edge science. And it confirmed what humans have always observed with their own senses, that the Earth is still. Back then, ether was widely accepted. From the 1800s through the early 1900s, scientists knew electromagnetic waves needed a medium. Just like sound travels through air and ocean waves travel through water, light had to travel through something. That something was the ether. It wasn't controversial until it became a threat to the Jesuit-enforced heliocentric model. Instead of accepting the Earth was still, they invented a mathematical excuse called the Lorentz contraction. Their logic? Well, the experiment didn't detect motion, so maybe the measuring device shrank in just the right way to cancel the ether drift we didn't see. No joke. They claimed physical objects contracted in the direction of motion so you couldn't detect Earth's movement. They didn't measure the contraction, they just made it up. A desperate nuh-uh in the form of equations. They kept the globe. They kept the motion. And they threw out the ether. Even Einstein had to admit that without the ether, you couldn't explain the behavior of electromagnetic fields. But they refused to go back. Because if you accept a fixed ether, then the Earth must be stationary relative to it, and the globe dies. Fast forward to 2009, Martin Grusenek, a German engineer, decides to test the ether again, but vertically. Unlike Michelson and Morley, who rotated their interferometer horizontally, Grusenek rotated his setup on a vertical plane. And guess what? He observed a clear fringe shift, a result. One that matched what you'd expect if there was a downward ether wind, a flow pressing from above toward the Earth. Something Michelson couldn't detect with a flat horizontal device. A year later, Frank G. Pierce repeated the vertical setup. He also recorded a measurable fringe shift during vertical rotation. He chalked it up to mechanical strain, but he still couldn't deny the data. There was movement in the vertical orientation, but not in horizontal. Let that sink in. Horizontal experiments show no motion, confirming the Earth isn't moving through the ether. Vertical experiments show a consistent shift, suggesting the ether is moving downward. That's not gravity, that's a fluid flow field. A downward pressure gradient that sorts objects by density and buoyancy. Just like in a fluid, heavy things fall, light things rise, not because of mass attracting mass from 93 million miles away, but because of a field pressure dynamic in the ether. Let's break it down even more. Ocean waves are field modalities of water. Sound is a field modality of air. Light, magnetism, electricity, all field modalities of the ether. The ether is the medium. All so-called forces are just expressions of pressure and motion within it. Light is just one expression of motion in the ether, a transverse ripple. But the ether also supports longitudinal pressure waves and field dynamics that may operate much faster than light. This could explain how so-called instant forces like magnetism or electrostatics work without delay, not magic. Just a medium that carries pressure changes far quicker than the speed assigned to light. The ground doesn't spin. The Earth doesn't move. And the ether is real. They buried it. They mocked it. They rebranded it with space-time fantasies and cartoon planets. But the experiments told the truth. Michelson and Morley proved the Earth isn't moving. Gruzinik and Pierce proved the ether is moving downward. And electromagnetic science proves that fields require a medium, the ether. No curve, no spin. No magical gravity. Just a level stationary realm, held in place by the ether they tried to erase. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you don't miss future videos where we explore more on what exactly we're standing on and who built the story we've been sold.